Konnichiwa. Watashi wa William Fountain desu. Hi, my name is William Fountain, and today I'm going to tell you about Japanese sports. The three sports I will be talking about in this video are baseball, sumo wrestling, and martial arts. They do play other sports as well, but these will be the three that I will focus on. Baseball was first introduced in Japan as a school sport in 1872 by American Horace Wilson. He was an English professor at Keisei Academy in Tokyo. Now, the first adult baseball team, called the Shimbashi Athletic Club, was established in 1878, and professional competitions emerged in the 1920s. In case you do not know much about baseball, I will give you a brief overview of it. Baseball is a sport played with two teams facing off against each other, one on offense and one on defense at all times. The team on defense has 9 players on the field: the catcher, pitcher, first baseman, second baseman, shortstop, third baseman, left field, center field, and right field, while the team on offense has 1 player batting at a time. These teams will face off for a number of 9 innings where they will play offense and defense 1 time each. Their goal on offense is to score as many runs as they can before getting out 3 times. The goal on defense is, well, obviously, to try and get the team on offense out 3 times so that they may then be on offense. Also, the rules of baseball in Japan are pretty much the same as Major League Baseball rules are in America. There are some minor differences, though. The baseball used in Japanese baseball is typically a little bit smaller than used in Major League Baseball. Also, their strike zone is smaller and the fields they play on are smaller. Some of them would even violate official baseball rules. One last thing I would like to mention about Japanese baseball is that since the World Baseball Classic was established, Japan has won the title twice. Once in 2006, where they defeated Cuba, and once in 2009, where they defeated South Korea. And now I'm going to talk about the second sport I will be talking about in this video, which is sumo wrestling. Sumo wrestling originally originated in Japan and is a full contact wrestling sport where one rikishi, or wrestler, attempts to force the other out of a circular ring or force them to touch the ground with anything but the soles of their feet. Sumo wrestling goes back many centuries and still has some aspects of Japanese tradition in it, such as salt purification. Many professional sumo wrestlers' lives are heavily regimented, as they are forced to live in communal sumo wrestling stables, and their lives, everything from eating to the way they dress, is heavily regimented by tradition. When it comes to the origins of sumo wrestling, it was originally used as a trial of strength in combat. It was also associated with Shinto ritual, and certain shrines would even have ritual dances, where a human was said to wrestle with a Shinto divine spirit. One thing you should know about sumo wrestling is that there are no weight classes in sumo wrestling, so some wrestlers may face someone twice their size. A superior technique, however, can allow them to defeat a much larger opponent. Some matches can only last a few seconds, as they are only 1 round, but some of them can last for several minutes. There are 6 different sumo wrestling tournaments throughout the year. 3 are held at one location and the other 3 at 3 separate ones. The tournaments are 15 days long, starting on a Sunday and ending on a Sunday. One last thing I would like to mention about sumo wrestlers is that due to a very serious accident involving a sumo wrestler and the fact that most sumo wrestlers are too big to fit behind a steering wheel, sumo wrestlers are banned from driving their own cars. If they violate this rule, then they are subject to either heavy fines and or suspension. And now we will be moving to the third and final sport I will be talking about in this video, which is Japanese martial arts. There are many different types of martial arts that are native to Japan, and the term Budo, which means martial arts, is a more modern term. When it comes to the historical origin of Japanese martial arts, it dates back to the samurai and the caste system, which restricted the use of weapons by other members of society. The samurai were expected to become very proficient in both the use of these weapons and unarmed combat. They were also expected to achieve the highest possible proficiency in the use of these weapons and skills. There are multiple different types of Japanese martial arts, one of them being sumo wrestling, which I mentioned earlier, but in this part of the video I would like to focus more on things such as jujitsu and swordsmanship. Swordsmanship is believed by some to be the best martial art, surpassing all others, but that would depend on who you asked. Swordsmanship is literally the art of using a sword, typically a katana. Jiu-jitsu is a form of martial arts that uses more of indirect force to fight your opponent, such as using their joints or their own force against them to throw the opponent. There are many other types of martial arts, but I will not be mentioning them in this video. Thanks for watching my video on Japanese sports. These are some websites that I use, whether for information or pictures. I'll leave it up here for a few more seconds, and thanks again.